It is time to rate every single ROTA in Yugioh, of which there are almost 200. So, first off, we need to define what a ROTA is. So a ROTA is a spell card that on activation adds a card with some sort of definement. A ROTA is a card that on activation or as a ignition or trigger effect on the field, a ROTA is a spell that on activation or as a trigger effect or ignition effect on the field, no, we're not counting trigger effects. A ROTA is a spell card that adds on activation or as an ignition effect on the field a card from your deck to your hand. So this does not count trigger effects, like Branded Lost, which requires you to play and, summon a fusion monster, and it does not count a graveyard effect, like, it doesn't count the Silent Swordsman stuff, that you banish it from grave to add. That doesn't count. And the way we're going to be rating these is not just how good is this archetype, because if we did that, it would be very easy. For example, you can just go, oh, branded opening is A or S tier because it's in branded, which is like one of the best archetypes in the grand scheme of the 1,000 archetypes in the game, right? We're looking at like what the card's individual traits are. Yes, we can talk a little bit about the pool of things you can add with that, but not in the grand scheme of like, is this deck good? Because that just makes this whole simpler. I'm just rating how good these are for their archetypes, ignoring how good that archetype actually is. First off, we've got Chaos Space. Obviously, Chaos Space goes into the S tier. The discard cost on this is a lie, because the deck that would play this wants to put a card in the graveyard. It is a Chaos card, so it is basically an archetypal card for Chaos. You want to discard something and then immediately banish that thing, and then you can immediately put that thing bottom on the deck and draw a card. So this basically is Engage when you actually resolve it in the decks that it's made for. Painful Decisions. So, this card is... it's a foolish and an ad. However, it is only for normal monsters, so that obviously makes it a lot worse. However, for a deck like Sushib that has a normal monster with a main deck monster with the same name, it's actually really crazy to be both a foolish and an ad. The actual thing that enables you, it does get you some combos, but it isn't like a one-card combo by itself. You still need other things. So, like, it doesn't actually give you that much advantage. It's a necessary card in the deck, but it's not that good. I'm going to put it in B tier. So let's actually quickly do ROTA itself, because this is a good baseline, right? ROTA is, it's not once per turn, it adds warriors, which are a generally good pool. It itself is not archetypally searchable, and it doesn't do anything else, but it has a good pool of cards to search from. It is just a solid, good ROTA, so it is a B. So when we talk about something like Scrapyard, and now this is when I'm going to have to start pulling up card text. So Scrapyard only adds tuners, which does make it just baseline worse than ROTA in terms of like pure effect, but it does search Scrap Raptor, which is a really good card in Dinos. However, I don't think Dino plays this card anymore. Like, I think it did when it initially Scrap Raptor came out, people tried it. But if the one deck this is good in... obviously this is really good in Scrap, but it only searches tuners, so it isn't that good at actually hand-fixing. Yes, it gives you Raptor, but you still need to be doing other stuff. You can't just, like, go normal Raptor and play, right? That doesn't actually give you a full combo. Whereas in Warrior decks, ROTA is, like, get you a starter, get you whatever you need, right? This in the deck that it was, like, best in, the deck doesn't play it anymore, so it's like, yeah, this just adds slightly restricted, not even the entire archetype, it is okay. So, Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This card is basically Draconic Diagram for Crystal Beast. So this card says you get an additional normal summon for Crystal Beasts. You can pop a card, which you want to usually, you're fine doing that anyway, to search a crystal spell or trap, which is like all your spells and traps, except like the Rainbow Bridges specifically. And if a Crystal Beast is placed in a Charm Trap zone, even in the damage step, you can bounce an opponent's card. And this to hand, so this protects itself from like getting destroyed or anything, and then you can just activate this again. This is just Diagram for Crystal Beast. It gives you a search, it gives you a normal summon, and it bounces an opponent's card. Like, this is easily S-tier. This is utterly crazy card. Okay, so True Stone God says, when this is activated, add one Winged Dragon of Ra or card that mentions it. Your opponent... So you can add a card that mentions Ra. So it adds, like, Hidden Chant, and Chant then lets you summon Ra. So this, like, and then it summons Immortal Phoenix. So it's set up that then, like, summons Phoenix, assuming everything goes through. And then Phoenix is a towers that I think sends itself... Tower sends itself to grave, right? It does search you the Ra stuff, but it sets up a monster that sends itself to grave in the end phase. Like, Immortal Phoenix is fine, but it isn't actually doing very much for your deck. Like, yeah, it does search. It is a standard, just does ROTA for any card in the archetype, and it has that additional effect, so I guess it goes in B. Like, it's just, it does adds whatever you need, right? It's, like, fine. Arcana reading. So, this is... If you have the field spell, you don't toss a coin for this, and then it's add a card from deck to hand that has a coin tossing effect. So if you don't control your field spell, this says 50% chance of your opponent adding a card from deck to hand. So that's a really bad restriction as well. And this does have a bonus effect that you can banish it to get an additional normal summon, which is pretty good. It's your ROTA for your archetype, but it requires you to already have your field spell up, which I'm pretty sure isn't searchable without this. So that's pretty bad. We'll put it in, like, C, I think. Okay, Hyper Stadium is the next one. Okay, Hyper Stadium. When this card is activated, you can add a UA or FA from deck to hand. So this adds both UAs or FAs. And then you could also add UA Stadium from deck to hand. You can reveal the field spell in your hand, the Stadium, and then you get to normal an additional UA or FA. This card is really crazy. It's for 2 archetypes. It searches 2 whole archetypes that are... It's a ROTA for both of them. It also can search a field spell, and it gives you an additional normal summon. This is really good. This is A tier. This is a really, really strong card. Draconic Diagram. Obviously, Draconic Diagram is crazy. I don't know if it's S tier, though. So... This gets you any like, card... Nah, yeah, Diagram's S tier. This gets you any card in your archetype, and it destroys your True stuff, which just trigger a lot of them. There are... Actually, honestly, A tier. Like, it does require you to destroy a card, and that... Yes, there's cards you want to destroy sometimes, not necessarily on turn 1 you do want to do that, so it is requiring you to go your 1-for-1 trade. It does search any card in the archetype, which is really good, and it has protection on it. For battle, though, like... And yeah, you can play this in Dino and, like, pop Baby and do a bunch of stuff in combo extension with that. A version of Dino that isn't played right now, maybe that's because it's limited, like... It very well might be, but maybe it is just that. But I don't necessarily know if the Lithocetrum stuff is that insane anymore, so... I'll put it in A tier for now. I think it's obviously a really strong card, but, like, in terms of isolation of, like, the individual decks, like, it isn't actually that good. So it is obviously strong, but, like, yeah. Pre-prep, this says ROTA for 2 with no restrictions. This is crazy. There's a little bit of restrictions. This adds any ritual and any ritual spell, like, that name each other, like... Yeah, okay, this card's crazy. This just adds 2. This just says plus search 2. Like, absolutely crazy. Terraforming! This card is crazy. Every field spell releases at 4. Who would have thought it? Damn, that's broken. This card should be banned. Every field spell for every archetype in the game releases at 4 copies is utterly ridiculous. Engage. Go +1. Draw a card. This can be recycled multiple times per turn in archetype. Just draw 200 cards. Utterly broken. Pearl Rhino. Add any tier card, which is basically full combo. Then it can also pop floodgates and stuff. Utterly broken. Equal. Add any hero. That's really good for hero, but it isn't like crazy. You can combo without it, and it's like it's unsearchable itself. It's as good as ROTA pretty much. Fry Perpetuate, go +1. Insane in Fluffle, insane in Branded, honestly. It's not played in Branded now, but that's because Branded just has better cards, and there's space for it. But like in Fluffle, this card's crazy. In Branded, this card was crazy. I think it's actually just +1/+1, and then you recycle and you get to add it back again. Hidden City, this is the game plan. This is your entire archetype. It adds Guru. It flips and says stuff. This card is broken. It did do that. Dogmatic Matrix. This card says, again, if you're going first, it adds any card, any the stuff you need, but also if you're going second, or, you know, it's in the grind or whatever, this says add 2, and it also just gets to rip 1 from either extra, which gets you in Dogma. You can rip Herald, or, like, anything else, or rip stuff in your opponent's extra. That's really crucial. Absolutely crazy card. Fluid Summoning Karibo. It adds a Karibo card. Karibo cards, even in Karibo, I think this only adds the original Karibo or Wing Karibo. So this sucks. This just utterly sucks. It doesn't even add like modern Karibo cards. Even in Karibo, this is terrible. Unplayable. Nadir Servant. Send any card from extra. Add any card. The archetype. This is insane in Branded. It's obviously broken in Dogmatica. This was broken generically. The way people just play a Dogmatica engine because this card existed. Utterly broken. It was limited and semi in multiple formats. Yeah, this card's absolutely S-tier. Puryu Rice. So very restrictive, but it adds any monster with 0 attack, which has obviously been very good for a lot of decks. It's crazy in DDD. It's been crazy in Sacred Beast. It's used in a lot of decks. Though it does have a lot of restrictions on it. It forces you to play in a very specific way. It does halve your life points, but it is very relevant in a lot of decks, and it does require you to normal summon that monster. Very restrictive, but yeah, in the decks you play this in, it's really good. Fossil Dig, it's about as good as ROTA. It adds any dino. It's really good in Furhire. It is really good in Dino, of course. It just adds any name. It is really strong. It obviously adds more names than ROTA, but ROTA has a larger card pool. It does add Misk and things like that. It's obviously crazy. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, this just adds any of your cards in your deck pretty much. For Dino, I mean, I guess for Dino, this just adds anything, right? This adds like any monster in your deck pretty much. Yeah, actually in Dino, this just basically says search your deck for anything, so I think this actually goes up data. Ice Medallion of the Ice Barrier. It adds any of your archetypal cards. Solid card. Race Off, pretty much as good as Pearl Rhino. Adds any archetype, but also pops a card. I'd argue the condition is worse, and adding any name isn't necessarily. So yeah, this is just a 1-card combo by itself. And then it also has a pop of floodgates and stuff. Really broken. And it also buffs up your monsters, which is pretty relevant actually. It's crazy how like attack values are like really relevant right now. Like every sort of monster in the game that you end on is like between 2k and 3k. So even small boosts like this are extremely relevant, and that's actually really cool, I think. It's really cool that like battle boosts like that are relevant. Branded opening. Let's talk about this. It is either E-Telly or ROTA, and it discards, which you often put a lot of stuff you want in the grave. It searches like the 2 normal summons in the deck that are both crazy. It searches Quem or Aluber. It lets you play around Droll and Imperm and all that. This card's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Spiral Resort. Obviously, this card is broken. Obviously, this card is broken. Light Stage. Not once per turn and searchable, you say? That's real interesting. I'm gonna ROTA 3 times. This card adds 1 monster that if you already have, that means it isn't actually doing anything. It's unsearchable itself, except by terraforming, so you have to hard open it. Yes, it's got a crazy protection effect on it, but all it really does is search a normal summon. Like, so you only have 6 total copies of Alistair if you're playing this and Alistair both at 3. So you're not really that guaranteed to see them. Warrock Mountain. This card searches any name and then specials 1. really, really good. Just really, really good card for Warwick. Livermor's first appearance. This adds any name, and then it can ritual summon multiple times per turn, which is really, really good. Really, really strong, being able to just multiple ritual summons. It's like, doesn't go up the Alpha tree, but it's like, yeah, this is a ritual spell in itself and a ROTA for anything, and you can search this pretty easily, and it searches a monster that then searches another copy of this for the next time follow-up. Really good. Smoke Signal adds a level 3 alert. Like, this doesn't add a very wide range of 6am, but it's good. And especially, like, older formats, it was really, really insane to get, like, Hagamutra stuff to the point where this card was limited. Really, really strong in 6 Samurai. On the same subject, Ice Jade Cradle does the same thing. However, there's a little bit of an issue that this does not let you search something that's already engraved, which means if you're playing Ran Adrian, which is arguably the best Ice Jade in, like, generically in other decks, and you already used it once, you just can't search it anymore, so you have to, like, play additional targets and stuff. Obviously in Ice Jade that doesn't matter that much, it just searches what you need on turn 1. And it's not once per turn, which is really crazy. It's just, like, good. It's just about good. Bonfire. We haven't really seen how good this card is, so for now I'm gonna have to put it in B there, just once per turn, add any Pyro, I hope it's good. Like, we don't really know how crazy this is going to be in decks like Volcanic. I think you obviously played it 3 in Volcanic, in which case, it's good. It's just good ROTA. Opening of the Spirit Gates. This card is like it adds a monster, so it is not perfect hand fixing for Sacred Beast. If it added any card, it'd be crazy. It adds... it lets you revive any fiend from grave, including the one you discard, which is really good. And it lets you add back copies of continuous spells to hand, so you can, like, infinitely discard continuous spells to just add them back immediately with the discard cost. Really strong, but it's that little bit of restriction in what it can add makes it significantly less consistent of a deck. If this could add any card except itself, like the Dark Beckoning Beast can, it would be way stronger. Advent of Adventure. It dodges imperms, which is one of the most vulnerable choke points of the deck, and it adds either the field spell or any name. Crazy card. It also helps you win in time. Tune Table of Contents. Add any name, including itself, so it, like, cycles for 3. But it's, like, fine. I don't think you actually want to do that often. It, like, upstarts twice if you want it to. Just good card for the archetype. Charge of the Light Brigade. Mill, then add... You spoil me. Crystal Bond searches twice. Damn. Tuning. Mill, then add any name. The mill makes it a lot stronger. Really good card. Obviously, adding Synchrons is... In fact, yeah, we're getting Revolution Synchron soon, so this card's even crazier. This card adds Revolution Synchron. Reich. Obia. This adds any Scareclaw, which is full combo, and then it pops a card on the field, and this one does it as an ignition, which makes it arguably better of a pop, because you get to choose when in the turn to do it. You can't do it on your opponent's turn, but you can do it pretty much pop whatever you want during your own turn. Really, really good. Dark Corridor. Add any name, then discard any name, but is once per turn, so it can be brooky is the problem. I've seen people debating... The fact that I've seen people debating on if you play 3 of this, because if you draw into multiples, it is kind of sucky in Dark World, means it is not S tier, but it is crazy to have a draw and a discard an add and a discard immediately. The Goaty Field spell. It adds, but it has to banish, and it has a protection effect and return itself effect, but those effects suck. It's fine. It adds a name, technically, and theoretically you wanted to banish stuff from grave, but a lot of the time that isn't actually that helpful. It's, like, fine. It's good. It's good because it adds, obviously, anything, and it can trigger your banishes. Like, the banish can be good, but the fact that this does not add... The banish can be good, but it doesn't add on activation. Like, you have to set stuff up for it. It means... Honestly, no, I'm putting this in C. Because, like, you have to set this up. You can't just activate this in ROTA, and, like, if a ROTA doesn't do anything on activation, that kind of sucks. Bird Call. Bird Call adds then specials, and you can just add a bird that amend immediately. It has to be a different name than what you added, but the hand fixing, add a foolish, then special. Yeah, this basically just enables everything in, like, whatever your card in hand is, this gives you the other Lyrilusk you need to play, and this is searchable in itself. This is like, this was one of the reasons that Lyrilusk was crazy, obviously, because this was on the new piece of support, and it searches basically everything you need. This card's crazy. Absolutely insane. Prep. This is adds and then adds from grave. It adds a ritual monster, then can add a spell, right? It's got a bit of a level restriction on it, but that's generally like pretty good. You played this in like most ritual decks that have come out. Like, yeah, this is just very good, very good. Adds and then adds with grave. Rota with a benefit. Signet mining. Add any Cybers monster in the game, including Circular, which is full combo. It requires you to discard, so it's not like S, but like, yeah, this is just add any starter in your deck. This is a 1-card combo, 1.5 card combo, which, yeah, this is crazy. Sword Soul Emergence. Add any archetype card, or if you're already playing, add any worm in the game. This was one of the reasons Protoss was so disgusting, as you made a synchro, then just went, yep, I'll just add Protoss now. Circle, draw phase Rota that has like another phase. You don't use it, but like this is a draw phase Rota. It plays around Droll and stuff in a deck that is kind of vulnerable to Droll all the time. At least back then. Yeah, this card's really good. Adds any name, and you know, especially when your name is one of your best names is limited. That's pretty important. Tenki, crazy card in a lot of decks. Just adds any monster in your deck. Solid 80. Dynamis Charge adds any monster in your deck, and then it returns stuff from the extract every turn. Really powerful card. And the second effect is like not once per turn, so there are situations where you can like add back multiple cards per turn off of this. Very, very nice. Left Arm Offering. Searches any spell in the game, but you have to banish your hand. This card sucks. This card is so bad. It's only played in like gimmicky, dumb strategies where the reason it was played was because grass was legal. And, like, you just were trying to turbo grass, and if this card got negated, you lost the game. This card's so awful. I was thinking better than Rota. Yeah, sure. Fair enough. Thunderspeed Summon. To Rota, this requires you to control 3 monsters. It does give you a normal summon effect, but, like, in the decks where you would play this, you should already probably have access to a god or whatever you wanted to summon. Like, this is, like... Ugh. It does kind of help if you've resolved your combo already, but it's like, it finishes your combo if you resolved it, but like, yeah, it's like fine. Cyber Emergency, add any name, and if this is negated by its activation, you can add it back. Yeah, add any name and archetype, and if it's negated, put it back. This doesn't add, oh no, this doesn't add, this had Cyber... Yeah, no, this had Cyber Dragon monsters, right? This has any Cyber monster. Yeah, even Drytron used this card. Oh, you just had a light machine that can't be normal summon a set, right? Yeah, this is crazy, because you can play in Drytron and like... Gateway. This is full combo. It searches not once per turn. Yeah, this is crazy. Summoners are adds a normal. It is obviously good in the decks that add it, but it doesn't even add all of them. It adds level 5 or higher. It is like, it is fine. Reaping Darkness. It requires you to banish 2 from grave, I think. Yeah, this is like really restrictive. I don't think this has ever actually seen play. Yeah, this card's way too restrictive. The Crystal Bird adds any of the spells and traps in the archetype. It doesn't add everything, but it adds like a lot of good stuff. Just about as good as Rota. Union Hanger, really good. Search any of your monsters and then also just equip one from deck for free. Very good. You want to see this every game. Where art thou? Search a monster from deck. Yep, it's just Rota. Your opponent does get a monster in hand, but like, oh no, that's Jack in the hand. So yeah, it's just like add a monster. Like it's fine. It is, yeah, it's good. It's been played a lot in a lot of decks. It's at least on and off play, like it's not like mandatory inclusion. It's just a good searcher. Secret Password adds any spell or trap in the archetype, I think. It's fine. It's fine. It's just good. Like a Dragon Ravine. It's either adds a Dragoonity or Foolish as a Dragon. This guy's crazy. You discard, but like this does either a Foolish or like any dragon in the game, which is obviously crazy in Dragon Link, and you can also just add a Dragoonity, which is crazy in Dragoonity. Or Foolish, which is crazy in Dragoonity, and it was like crazy in Dragon Rulers as well. This card's been crazy in multiple formats. It is a little heavy on restriction, and like the only reason it's played now is because it is searchable via a link to. So it's obviously crazy, but it is not quite the upper echelon of like full combo by itself. Waterfront. This is... in Archetype, this is... turns on all of your effects. Like, this is the required card. This is the build around for your deck. In Archetype itself. And it's been played in, like, other combo decks. For, like, similar reasons. Like, just to set up the negate sometimes. There was, like, a build that topped I think a YCS, where they were just playing, like, this plus Gamma Seal to get a free negate on board. Fish Sonar adds anything in the archetype, or can also special from deck, I'm pretty sure. Really, really good. Really, really, really strong. Abomination's Prison. This add any card, or... Add an Unchained card if this is destroy special from deck. Yep. Add any card in archetype, and has a beneficial effect on field. Crazy. Okay, now we're gonna actually start going through these ones that I don't know, I think. Banishment of the Dark Lord, I'm gonna do that. This is just ROTA for any card in archetype. It doesn't do anything else. Just, yep, add any card for archetype. I guess I'll put Fish Sonar in A, because that's also just add ROTA. It's just ROTA. I think you have to get to the point where, like, the card you're adding is full combo, or does other effects to, like, count in ATA. Oh, we can do... Disc Coliseum. Disc Coliseum has 3 effects, I think, and 2 of them are really relevant, and the other one is, like, not, but it's, like, crazy combo piece. The second effect can come out of that, the third effect can come out, like, really good in archetype to get all the recursion stuff. Speedroid Scratch. Discard a card, add a Speedroid card, right? It's like Signet Mining, but for a specific archetype. Wait, what does this do? Am I misremembering what this does? As a monster only. Okay, so only adds monsters. Your spells and traps aren't searchable anyway, but like... requires discard. And you have to discard a Spirit card. Okay, it's pretty restrictive. It's about as good as ROTA, right? About as good as resolving ROTA in your archetype. Like, you're fine putting cards in graveyard, I assume, a lot of the time. Like, you still play this, right? No? Is this worse? Would you say this is a correct category for this KMR as our resident Speedroid player? You don't play this? See? Oh, okay, I'm being informed this card is bad, like, not that good. It's like, yeah, okay, it's not good enough to play a Signet Mining effect? Yeah, okay, fair enough, Runic Tip. Add any card in archetype, then reveal what deck your opponent's playing and rip a card? Or instant fusion? That's crazy. Whoa, how is this card S tier? This is like arguably one of the best rotas in the game. Okay, we're gonna have to start going through... Oh, Brandon and High Spirits. People have played this. It is seen play. I will give it the luxury of B tier. It is playable. However, it is a lot of investment. It's a limited pool on what it adds, extremely limited based on, like, and what it can send. It's like a infinitely worse Nadir Servant in a deck that can now play Nadir Servant. It is decent. Sunny Snitch adds any monster in archetype. And then also just, like, can burn the opponent a bit, I guess. I don't think that really matters that much, but, like, it adds any monster in the archetype, which is full combo, so yeah, that's good. Necrovalley Throne. This adds a Gravekeeper or gives you a normal summon. Good. Adds any monster in the archetype, and then it can also give you a normal summon. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. I will check that again. And this technically does search Necrovalley, because it searches the Necrovalley Searcher. Fine, I will move left arm up to C, because it has seen some play in bad decks to search a much better card that... Because Password does search Snitch, and Snitch is basically any monster ball, I will put them both in the same category because they both basically are full combo. Fateful Adventure. This is searchable by another card. It is required for the entire combo, and it searches 2 cards, and it gives you a protection effect, which has been relevant in decks like Plunder. Crazy. This just adds any name, right? The Heraldic Seal Complication. Just adds any heraldic name. Beta. So I read this today for the first time. If you control no monsters, you can add a level 5 or higher Senju or set the scales. So I need a Yusenju player to tell me how good Hero Lives setting both scales for 1 turn is in Yusenju. They only ever add with it, they don't set the scale. I think because it doesn't full combo by itself, like it gives you a card you need and like it sets up scales, but you need to have stuff behind those scales. So it's like good. This is good. This is about as good. Perfect Sync Aeon. Add a dual avatar monster. If you control a monster, you can summon a token, but you can't summon from the extra deck except fusions. It's not searchable. It only adds the monsters. And it does lock you. And the deck doesn't have a huge variety of fusions to go into. The fusions are fine, but like... Melody is good. It says add 2, but it requires discard, so it goes about evenly. It's not played in Dragon Link anymore, really. But it is still probably played in deck play Blue Eyes, I'm pretty sure. Gateway Witch. This is ROTA for any monster in the archetype. Very good. Evil Mind is if you have cards in your opponent's grave. They have 1 card in grave, you draw a card. If they have 4, you can add a hero or a dark fusion. If they have 10, you can add Folly or Fusion. Hero has never played this. Damn, it's because it sucks. So there's Resonator Core Engine, which is returns 2 Resonators from your grave to deck to add any level 4 monster from deck to hand. So, any Resonator players want to tell me if this is good or if it's way too much setup to put 2 cards from your deck, grave in the deck to add any level 4 monster. Meanwhile, you can review Resonator Call, which is just add any Resonator from deck to hand. Add any archetype card? Yeah, I'll go for on that one. And then there's Resonator Command, which is discard a Resonator, add a level 4 lower Fiend. Which I'd argue is... That is good. I don't think you play this. I think it sucks. It's like putting cards back in the deck. So you have to be comboing. And Rotas, the worst kind of Rota is one that requires you to be comboing. I don't think you've ever played this in Resonator. But like, I don't know if you play this in Resonator. I don't think you do, actually. I think it's about as good as Scratch. Toon Bookmark, it is as good as Toon Table of Contents. Pretty much. It's once per turn restriction. It can search more, but it's all got a once per turn. That's funny. It's got like other restriction. This is good. Oh, it has a protection effect, and adds any card that mentions Toon World. Adds the field spell. But only the field spell. It is searchable in itself. Oh, it adds Comic Hand as well. Yeah, okay. We'll bring that up. Heavy Forward adds... Heavy Forward adds any, Infinite Strike name, right? The other effect isn't very good, but like it is an effect. I'd say like it doesn't bring enough out of B tier, but it is. Ricochet, this card's crazy, right? So this is with Concon. This lets you tribute an opponent's monster to add any Ricka monster, and then also add a plant monster with the same level. Glamour's actually crazy. This card's so broken. This card's so crazy. Rota for 2, and you can, with Concon, tribute an opponent's monster with it. Crazy. And even if you tribute your own to that, and if you don't tribute, you still get to add any plant monster. Add any Ricka monster. Like, it's crazy. Okay, Eldland. Foolish, or it's like, add any card in deck, and does something when sent to grave, and you're going to be sending it anyway? Crazy card. Single purchase, obviously this card sucks. Penguin Gardens. Royal Penguin's Garden. Add any penguin, and it can level mod. Then you have to discard a card. This is add any card in the archetype. Where did it go? There you go. Add any card in the archetype. Good. This is the attack boost, which is huge, massive attack boost on this, and there's such thing, and discard sets stuff up. Plunder shipyard's really crazy. Tally Ho is Rota plus Soul Charge. Broken card. Insight adds any card in the archetype. If this card, that's fine. This is also just like good. This adds 2, you have to discard, and then it locks you into lights. It's pretty restrictive, but it does like do the night combo, which is fine. This is Foolish, then add in Tenny. This is crazy. You have to control a monster first, but it is just Foolish plus add. In fact, yeah, this comes very close to, I guess. But like, yeah, it's just Foolish plus add in Tenny, which like sets up a lot, but you do have to already be playing a bit. Wavering Eyes. Broken card S tier immediately. Yeah, this card was disgusting in pen formats, where you're just like, oh yeah, I am just going to destroy 4 cards and add any monster from deck to hand? Really? I can just add any pend? A tenacity, add any card from the archetype. This is discard. Proving ground, add any card from the archetype. Try to practice, summon from hand, add any card from an archetype. I am told this is not that good. I think it's really good. But yeah, it does have to summon first, which is a little annoying. But like, it's good. Add any card from an archetype. Let me read Zexal Construction again. Reveal card in hand, add on the... Yeah, this is reveal and add. It's a little restrictive, but it does add pretty much whatever you need in these decks. It's good. Global Secrets, add any card in the archetype. Duelist Alliance, add any card in the archetype. Magic World is Aeris. Let's have a read. Magic World. When this activated, add a Magic monster from deck to hand. Protection effect, and then during your main phase, you can add... Whoa! This is a double ROTA that also gives you a protection effect. It does make you put a card back from hand in deck, though, so it doesn't go +1. It goes, like, even. But, like, yeah, really good. Very strong. Place. Prank Kids Place. Add a monster. Make your monsters gain, make your opponents gain. Like, this is... It's ROTA for the archetype. That's all this does. Banish 2 Malefics from grave, add up 2 from deck. With different names and from the banished cards. You don't play Malefic Selector, right? This card seems awful. I'm gonna put this in C. Or D. Probably in C, because I feel like you don't play this card, but feel free to let me know, guys, if you do play this card. A Sarctic Departure. Discard, add 2. If you attribute, you can banish this. That's crazy. That's crazy. Better Signet Mining that also has a effect that just gives you a free tribute. Banish 2 cards face down from your extra deck. Add 2 beasts. Locked into pens. Protection effect. This seems really good. Okay, now I'm gonna put it in C because I'm not sure. Magical Contract Door. This is another one that's awful, right? Add a spell from your hand to your opponent's hand, then add a level 7 or 8 dark monster from your hand. I can see a point where there is some FDK or insane combo that requires this, like Jack and that, but like, no, this... You lose a card from your hand to add a monster. It goes -1, and your opponent gets the benefit, and the spells... It's going to be difficult for them to not get a benefit out of it, and it's obviously dead in a mirror match. Your opponent can't use effects in the battle phase while you control Gaia the Champion. You can reveal one or the other, and it just hand fixes for anything, and it gives you a nice benefit. Balefire. Add a Starry Night or a level 7 Light Dragon from deck to hand. If you control, you can special hand as well. Wow. Add anything, then you can special from hand. It's really good. Add any S-Force. The monster can't be struck with battle. It adds any S-Force. It's a B. Springen's Watch. This card's crazy, right? Add the field spell. If you have the field spell, add any monster, then Foolish. Add then Foolish? Or add the field spell? Mayakashi Return. Add, take a Mayakashi from deck, either add to hand or send it to grave. Yeah, I say, yeah, it's not as good as Tally-Ho, I guess. Alert. Add a Rescue Ace, or if you control Hydrant, add a monster from deck. Oh, you have to control Hydrant. It's fine. Like, the Rescue Ace stuff is probably searchable, but, like, it theoretically can add anything, but you have to control Hydrant. I'm sure this is really good in the deck, like, you have to play it, but, like... this is the Sacred Waters in the Sky. Activate Sanctuary Hydrant in your deck, or add a monster, then if Sanctuary Sky in the field, you can gain 500... this is a magical card to grave it, but this is just add anything. Add anything but a protection pet that probably doesn't come damage. So I'm told this says... Yeah, you can't be targeted, card effects... You'd show this will add... Oh, this is Diagram, but for Dice. This seems really good. I don't think it's crucial anymore, though, so it's just like, I think the... Simorg. I guess in Odd Eyes, this is crazy, right? Discard a Wing Beast, add 2 Simorgs, banish from grave, reduce the level of your Simorgs. Add 2? If a card adds 2, it's probably an 8. Oracle of Zephyr. Add a Zephyr monster, and then it has a bunch of extra effects in it. And at the same time, we have Zephyr Providence, which is add any card and protection effect. This is really good. I know the protection effect comes up for this a lot. Oh, accept the turn center grave? Okay, this is fine. On your marks, get set, go. So this is like seeing some experimental play, but I don't think it's actually that good. Like it's yes, it adds an asynchron, but like you have to control the monsters. It's not as good as tuning. This is the Boojin Boojin Unity. Shuffle all Boojins from grave into deck. Shuffle your hand into the graveyard. Send your hand to graveyard, then you can add up to 3 beat. Wow, that is awful. Infernoble. This is the Infernoble Arms Durendal. You can add or destroy this card. This card is sent to graveyard. You can target a special summon it. 7th Ascension. Take a card from your deck. There's a Baryons, a rank up, and either has your hand if this is you don't play this right in any of the deck. What train? Add what cards to the number of thunders you can. Whoa! This is like ROTA for up to 5. Whoa! Add an Emeraldia monster for deck to hand. Then if the opponent cannot card effect when it's you can put it at the bottom of the deck. Then target an Emeraldia control. Add to the extra face up. Heroic Envoy. Add a heroic from deck to hand. Also banish it from grave, target heroic and grave, add it to hand. An official deck? Palace. Palace of the Elemental Lords. Send from deck add from deck to hand, but skips your battle phase of your next turn. And you can Foolish instead of like sending from hand. Or to like the lock of the next battle phase is really painful now. Like this card is good, but it's very that like lock and stuff. Frozen Rose, I think that is. Send a monster you can draw to grave. If it's a plant, draw 2 cards this card out, or if it's a non-plant, add a level 4 lower plant. I don't think you play this, so I think the restriction's too much. I don't think you actually play this even in Rose Dragon. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Sita. Guys, what do you think the Amazoness call sounds like? Plants, oh, I was doing Amazoness call. Take from deck, that's good. Foolish, you could this is fine. Pendulum Call. What do you think the Pendulum Call sounds like? This is crazy. Fire King Island. Destroy, this is like... Yeah, this is Diagram, but it only does that pretty much. It does also pop your board. This is like a mid, like it's like a mid Diagram. Dress Rehearsal. At the start of main phase 1, add 2. And it's you cannot pend except Abyss Actors. Add 2, no cost. Cyberdark Realm. Add a Cyberdark. You can normal summon for free. You can equip stuff in your opponent's grave. As long as they asked to. Cyberdark. Cybernetic Horizon. Send 2 from deck. Send from hand and deck for cost. Add a Machine Cyber. Then send a fusion from deck extra grave. You don't play this in like Modern Hydra, I think, because it like takes up the slots and you have to discard stuff. But like this in Cyberdark was really good, I think. Appliancer Electri-Lyrical World. When this is activated, you can add one Appliancer card from your deck to hand, except a field spell. If you link someone, you can add one Appliancer from your graveyard to hand. Once turn a monster plays out, you move Appliancer to the... This card's crazy. Mechlord Assembly. Add a Mechlord from deck to hand. You can discard a card target once you control destroy it. The card destroy... It's good for its archetype. Add a Kawakimaru. You can banish this card. Kawakimaru's card destroyed. No, it just adds any card from archetype. That's just standard. Law of the Cosmos. Your opponent can set one trap directly from their hand or deck. If they didn't, add a Jinzo, but they're probably not going to because you get to summon a Jinzo, so it is just ROTA, but your opponent gets to choose which effect you get, which I think makes it a bit worse. That is Gateway to Chaos. Add a Blackluster Soldier or Gaia monster from deck to hand. Which means you can move through counters. I don't think the removing counters is going to come up very often, so it's just like a ROTA. Sign it backdoor. Target Cybers controller. If you do add a Cybers during this standby, you can visit the field. Megaroid City. Target on the card control. If you destroy, add a Roid card from deck to hand. You cannot special monsters in the extra except fusion monsters the turn you activate either of this card's effects. You can send on Roid monster from your deck to the graveyard, switch. This is crazy for Roid, but awful for Speed Roid, unfortunately. Wait, what? Vanadium Obsession. Destroy a monster you control, add a planet. Or if you control a planet, add a spell trap. Searches the field spell. This is like Diagram itself, right? Searches build one. This... I have no idea what this card is called. Empowered, it searches, is right? Empowerment. You can discard a card, special and empowered from deck. You can banish 4 warrior spellcast and grade, add an ether monster. What are the ether monsters? Aether. Oh, it adds the evil empowering dragon or the empowering dragon. It summons from deck. It's not good for the ROTA effect. Battle next time. Add any name. Draw a card when you return, so end of turn. Yeah, that's really good. I think the other one is on here as well somewhere. Yeah, Crowd Goes Wild. Reveal a gold pride, add a gold pride with a different name, then you can special from your hand. I feel like these are both A tier. But feel free to correct me on if one of these is worse than the other, because I don't know. I don't play gold pride. Ritual Sanctuary. Let's go for that one, because I vaguely know what this does. Discard spell, add a ritual monster or ritual spell. Goes -1. Shuffle any number of spells in the deck, target library and grave, special summon it. I know this has been good in some formats, so I'll give it a B. Danger, Excitement, Mystery. Discard a level 5 high danger, add a level 4 low danger from deck to hand. Cast special summon rest to except danger monsters. So this is terrible even in danger, right? Because you can't extend from the extra. So add a dry shot spell trap from deck to hand. The activation of your spell traps cannot be negated. 1%, reduce some monsters level 1. Time ticket. Pay 800 life points. If it's your turn, add an amazement. If it's your opponent's turn, set a trap. Terror. Send a card from hand to grave, add 2. Vendread Knight. Discard a card, add a Vendread every turn. When your opponent starts with battle, bash Vendread craving again. This is good for the deck, but it is like a little. It's every turn, but like it does require a discard. Oh, this is one we can knock out really easily. Raptor Wing Strike. Shuffle a Blackwing you control into deck, add a Blackwing. Unplayable. Oh, it's just an Aquamirror, right? Focus Aquamirror. Add a Gish Key. You can set one from deck. Deep Sea Area. This adds any of the deep sea stuff, right? Banish a water from grave, add a level 4 sea pertinent. This has got to be really good. But it isn't just yet. It's just a road. Here's another one we can knock out. Card of the Soul. If you'll look at your deck, if you do, add a monster from deck to hand whose sum of attack and defense equals your life points. Sabatiel obviously is terrible. Where is it? Witchcraft of Creation. Add a Witchcraft Neck dying during the end phase at this time. Arm Dragon Blitz. Take an Arm Dragon from your deck. Target an Arm Dragon control. Take one in the same name from deck. Add it or summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. Wow, that is awful. Yeah, it is. Dream Mirror of Phantasms. When it's activated, add Dream Mirror. If it's a fill zone, okay. ROTA. Reveal a Cybus with extra, add an Ignister with the same attribute. This is just ROTA for Ignisters. Fire Fortress at Lang Peak, you don't play this. Yeah, each time a 5 is summoned, place a counter. If you get to 6 counters, you can remove 6 counters to add a Beast Warrior. Tanky after you've summoned 6 times. Oh, incomprehensibly bad. Karakuri Cash. Select a Karakuri, add a monster from deck to hand, and change the position. Changing position is good. Say it's B2. Just a ROTA. The benefit is not good enough. Next sister packs. During the main phase, pay 100 to add next sister. You can special summon a monster in field in your graveyard. I don't think that second part comes up very often. So... Okay, does the second part of packs come up, guys? Can anyone let me know if this second half of packs actually comes up and how often it comes up? And 2, is it enough to bump it up to A? Yes? Okay. Xeno. Ground Xeno. Add a dinosaur tuner or a dinosaur normal from deck to hand, then destroy a card in your hand. Evil Eye Domain. Add a monster. Has a damage event. Target. Absorb Fusion. Add a Gem Knight card from deck to hand, then you can fusion summon by banning materials from your hand or field. Then you're locked into Gem Knights. Okay, Cine. Is this card good? Legality of Bot Dragon Cures. You had that written up. BOT depending on different points in the legality of Bot Dragon. Okay, so tell me, right now, how good is it? But if Block Dragon came back, this would be D, right? Because you can't play it anymore, right? It is, like, good, unless the deck is good, in which case you don't play it. So, Doll Happiness. When this is activated, add a Grandpa to my box of friends while you control princesses. If you can just send... Yeah, this... Foolishes. Your opponent can't attack your low attack monsters, and... Yeah, this is great. This is good for the archetype. Boss Quest. Reveal a generator hand, add up to 2 generator spell traps with different names from each other. This is... I think Boss Quest is really good. I'm gonna put it in A. I'm just gonna assume it's really good. I know you play it. Revolving Switchyard. This is, like, not played... Right? Like, Switchyard is played, like, in the custom video I did with Peeps. It is not actually good without it. Yeah, okay. This is, like, it's, like, it was playable, but it's not played anymore. There are 3 theaters in the game, did you know that? One of them's before on card. Reveal the Bisector, and append. Reveal 2, add a script. But it also has the destruction effect, which is, like, the main thing. So, like, yeah, it's not a good ROTA, but it is a good card. Isn't say I mean, it is your deck built around it, right? Yeah, okay. It's not a good ROTA, but, like, it's a good card. Vanishment. Discard a card, add a Void Spell Trap. This card's crazy, right? It just adds anything. There you go. A lot of cards in the B category do that. Like, they are just add the card that full combos. However, the card itself doesn't do the combo, right? So we'll just put it in B because it does add whatever you need from the deck. But, like, that's basically what the B category is for. Okay. Ignition Phoenix. This card is bad. Target an Ignite, you control, destroy, add an Ignite. Do you play Ignition Phoenix in Ignite? Not really, right? Because Ignite's played in not pure builds now, right? Rose Bell. I don't actually have that much time, so we're gonna have to right there. Add a very specific plant. I'm sure there'll be a point when there's a good target for this. Roll a 6-sided dice. If you roll a 1 or 6, add. General Probe. Each time a Symphonic is activated, place a counter. You can remove 3 counters, add a card. If you normal a monster, you can add the field spell. Add 2. Unleashed. Send an Evil Eye and an Evil Eye. Foolish 2. Add a equip. If you link summon equip. What? Foolish 2 for cost, add, then equip from deck. Okay. Okay, sure. Cyber Repair Plant. If Sydra's in your grave, you can add a light machine from deck. Go to ROTA. Peaceful Planetarium, add a monster. If the monster is destroyed, you can summon it. This is, like, the same... It doesn't pop anything, but it, like, does your combo. It's not as good as, like, the other planets. Dimer Synthesis. Add a Catalyst field or any Burnout or Chemicritter, and it has another effect. Adds the field spell plus adds anything else. And has another effect. Starry Night Ceremony. Bring my face, reveal a Light Fairy in hand, add the dragon, then place the reveal monster on bottom deck. If opponent activates a card effect special. This is so much worse than the other one. What? This is like C tier. Put a card back to search, then when your opponent does then you can summon around. That's really bad. Reconnection. Reveal the dragon in hand, add a dragon with the same level, shuffle the revealed monster into the deck. Maybe this will see play one day. For now, it's not good. Spirit Charmers. Discard a card, take 2. One is a monster. Oh no, they don't have to be both. One is how to set the other. Wow. Evo Diversity. Add a monster from deck to hand. ROTA. Okay. Rep. Leanne. Ramifications. Send a card from hand to grave. Add 2 of these effects. Add 2. Onomat. This is an Onomat card, right? Yeah. Onomato Pickup. Add 1 Onomat card. This just adds Onomatopoeia, right? Reinforcement. Wait, this isn't what is this called? Oh, it's Machina Redeployment, right? Yeah. Discard add 2. Or discard add 2. What is this card called? Adds an Xyz card, right? Generation Force. If you control an Xyz monster, add an Xyz card from deck to hand. The Xyz cards will suck, right? Fortune Vision. When this add a Fortune Lady, if a card is banished, is to recover. This is just random. Duelist Genesis. Add a Synchro Spell or Trap. That's about as good as Generation Force. Okay, I don't know what these last 2 cards are called. What are these last 2? I don't know what these last 2 cards are called. Jurassic Power, thank you. You can send a dinosaur in your hand to field to grave, add a dinosaur 1200. Sure, there'll be a good one at some point. Okay, what is this last card, this spell? Photon Veil. Shuffle. This is a great one to end on. It is Photon Veil. Shuffle 3 light monsters from your hand into the deck, then add 1 to 3 level 4 or lower light monsters from deck to hand. But if you add 2 or more, they must all have the same name. Awful card. Awful. Shuffle your hand into the deck. Has to be 3 light monsters, so you reveal what you're playing. Shuffle your whole hand into the deck. Add 3 monsters with the same name. Unplayable. Awful. Dreadful card. Alright. And then the Soulful Code one is not a ROTA. There you have it. That is every ROTA spell in the game ranked in power level. There you go. If I missed any card, if I just happen to miss some spell that qualifies as a ROTA, let me know in the comments and I will endeavor to rate it, or you can argue in the comments about any of these ratings yourselves. I'm sure there's plenty of things people can argue with on my very subjective characteristics. But there you go. Feel free to sound off in the comments if you feel any of these were incorrect. Let me know. Anything else? Try and give me subscriptions on Twitch and try and give me memberships here on YouTube, because there will be things for that. There's not very much going on in there a minute, but there will be more. And make sure to join my Discord and all that, because Twitter's dying. Oh, it's all the hell. What's the single best rotor on the list? Part of me wants to say terraforming, honestly. But yeah, it's difficult. I think in sheer, like, playability, terraforming is the best card on this list. Like, it will see play in more decks than any other card on this list ever will.